Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. Today I have an email from a woman who is having success with the 60-day no contact rule. If you're wondering what that is, then I invite you to listen to my recording called the 60-day no contact rule. Okay, so here we go. She says, my ex-boyfriend and I broke up 7 months ago in March, and it wasn't a clean breakup. We'd been together for 2 years, and at 34 years old, I was pushing him for commitment. I told him if he didn't think he was ready to marry me, then I think we should break up. A sort of fake breakup, as you call it. So let me stop right here. You know, I know this is a recording about getting the ex back and the 60-day no contact rule, and I will discuss that, but I can't let this go by because it happens so many times, so many women do it, and it rarely, if ever, works. You're trying to manipulate someone into marrying you. You're trying to push them into marrying you. You're basically saying, well, you don't agree with me, so I'm going to threaten the relationship and we're going to break up. Now, is that the kind of partner that you would want? So what makes you think that your partner would want that from you? As a couple, you're supposed to be a team. You are supposed to have each other's back. You are supposed to be on each other's side. And you can't just go wander off and say, well, you're not on my schedule, so I'm out of here. Then what's the incentive for the person to want to marry you? If they see that's your attitude, then they think, well, good, go, because that's not the type of person I want to marry. And just because you're ready, it doesn't mean he's ready. Have you sat down and discussed why he may not be ready at this time? You may be taking it personally, thinking, oh, he doesn't love me, he doesn't care. There are a lot of reasons why a guy may not be ready to get married. It doesn't always have something to do with you. So, continuing on, she says, after hearing your videos, I realized this was a stupid thing to do, but I needed more from him and didn't know how to communicate that in a more healthy way at the time. Exactly. The following weeks, I definitely did the begging and pleading thing and lots of ugly crying. We spent the spring hashing things out, fighting and feeling undecided. So this is all so unnecessary. Ladies, all this fighting, trying to hash things out, crying, begging, ugly crying. You know what? There's an easier way. There's always an easier way. And it's actually called the reverse ultimatum. And I discuss that with the coaching clients that I have who are in this position where they want to get engaged. So if you want more information on that, you can always contact me and we can do a coaching session on that. So continuing on, his birthday was Memorial Weekend and he invited me to this party with family and friends there. Everyone hoped it meant we were back together. No. At this point, I realized he was so confused and unsure of what he wanted in his life. No, he wasn't confused and unsure. He knew that from the way you were acting at this point, he did not want you. That's the truth. He's not confused. A lot of times people say, oh, he's confused, she's confused. Rarely are they confused. They know what they want. It's just not what you want, so you call it confusion. Carrying on, she says, not unless we both made serious changes. Absolutely. I wanted my man to commit to me, and I was done playing games. I started focusing on myself, spending more time with my friends, and even got my toes wet with dating again. I moved most of my things out of his house and only went by there for my dog's sake and to play with the chickens when he was at work. Apparently they have chickens. Aw. I found your videos especially helpful and was inspired by your 30-day no contact rule is BS. Good, I'm glad it helped. After several failed attempts at no contact over the summer, mostly due to both our habits, interdependent lifestyles, confusion, his indecisiveness, I was finally able to successfully engage in no contact beginning August 10. So despite all that, she tried to do the no contact, the begging, pleading, she finally did no contact. So let's find out what happens. Well, she says, about a week ago on day 44 of no contact, I went by to see the chickens when I knew he'd be at work. 2 days later, I dropped off more egg cartons. So that leads me to his text. Aha. Just as you said, it was so bland and basic. On day 53 of no contact, he wrote, "I noticed you came by the house a couple of times." My heart was pounding. For something so stupid, yes. Well, it's not stupid when you finally hear from your ex after no contact. Even if they just say boo, your heart's going to pound. Now, I know I shouldn't respond because this is just breadcrumbing. Wrong. Wrong. This is not breadcrumbing. One text does not breadcrumbing make. She says, "I'm still kind of nervous. What should I do?" Well, here's the thing. He says that you came by the house. Now, if you don't respond to this, it's going to look like you're hiding something, like you were up to something when you went by the house. And so you almost have to respond, otherwise he's going to think something's going on or that you're playing games. So in this case, you do have to respond. This is not a breadcrumb. He's reaching out. We don't know why. Maybe he's just checking to see why you came by. Maybe he's missing you. Maybe he feels guilty. Maybe he wants to get back together. We don't know. So you're just going to give back a simple answer like, "Yes, I wanted to see the chickens and I dropped off some egg cartons." And that's it. The ball is in his court. So if he wants to see you got together, he will say something. He will do something. You don't have to try to push it. You just respond from him, get back to doing what you were doing, which was carrying on with your life and doing no contact. If he wants you, he will let you know. You don't have to do anything. So as you can see, even though she did mess up in the beginning, and even though it took a while for her to finally do full no contact, although going over to the house was breaking no contact, but okay. So as you can see, it did work out in the sense that he has contacted her, he has reached out, so we'll see what happens. So here's the 60-day no contact rule at work. As I said in that video, you'll usually hear from your ex between days 45 and days 60, and she heard from him on day 53. Voila. So if you have any questions about getting your ex back or the no contact rule, or even how to get a guy to commit to you, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net, and find out about private coaching. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you for subscribing. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.